Okay, this is Dennis Hudson from orangequant.com talking to you again about the H2O5 histograph. And the purpose of this exercise is how to conduct a post-mortem of a bad trade, in this case, or a good trade. But this time we're talking about a bad trade. A trade gone very, very wrong. Okay, you can see that we're looking at only the first 35 minutes of the euro-dollar pair on this, and I am watching the rest of it to see what's going on, and oh, it's ugly. I got to tell you, it's down to 48.75, 1.4875 as we speak, with 3 minutes left in the hour. And even as I was speaking, it dropped down to 48.69, which puts it right about here. So that's really what happened on this candle. We still have another 30 seconds left in the hour. I'm going to hang on for a second until I see how it ends up, and then I'll go on with this. Okay, it did close at 48.75, not much better than it was. Alright, the post-mortem on this real bad trade. By the way, I did get out okay. I got out actually 1 pip green. I could have had 5 pips, but by that time I was so shaken that I just bailed at the first opportunity. Now sometimes this the audio and the video are a little out of sync, so you'll have to kind of bear with me while I learn how to adjust that, I hope. And if you would, here's where I got in. I got in long on this trade at 48.95, which would have been right about here where I'm drawing this fat green line at the top. Pardon me. And I got in long, expecting that because it was what I had was a situation down here on the H2O5 where it hit this red support line, actually, and also because it was very close to 4,900, and I felt like that it would go to 4,900 just on a basis of sentiment. Well, that did not happen. Instead, what happened was, if you look down at the histograph again, if you would, right here, it suddenly broke through the histograph. It broke through and went very, very strongly south. And not only did it go south, this thing went, and I'm going to draw the line here for it differently. It went south all the way to the moneymaker, and then it kept going through the moneymaker like that. Okay, so by the time it wrapped up, I had got in at 48.95. It dropped to about 48.80. I was 15 pips in the hole at that point, and for those of you who trade currency, you know how bad that feels. Nevertheless, I hung on because I still, and it wasn't based on anything technical, obviously, but I hung on based on sentiment because I felt like they would still push this thing back to 4,900. And eventually they did push it to 4,900 almost exactly. And I got out just like 48.96 or something like that. So after the fact, I had to ask myself, what did I do wrong? So okay, here's what I did wrong. When I jumped in at 48.95 up here, this fat green line up at the top here, I had just logged on, just a few minutes before, and I really wasn't doing my measurements. I should have noticed the, let me try and erase a little bit of this red line that I put here. What I should have noticed was that that was about where where you now see this red line extending down from the candle was about where it was what the candle looked like when I got in, except it was, you know, a thin red line there, or thin green line, whatever. So what that should have told me, quite simply, was that it had already, at that point, broken through the red support line and had headed for the moneymaker before. Remember, I keep warning about if you have a breakout, you want to get out of the way. So I should have paid attention to that, because it had broken out before I had logged in, and it probably broke out somewhere, I'm estimating, probably the breakout was probably down to something like that. That would be about right if you were to measure things. Kind of learn to proportionalize what you're looking at as far as the candle versus the space between trend lines. And in this case, it would have told me this thing broke south. So that's our postmortem for tonight. It's Wednesday, October 14, 2009, at about 3:06 a.m. Eastern Time. I hope you had a good night.